So I've been watching the Amazing Atheist channel off and off here and there, and it's finally happened. We have somebody. We're finally hitting the popularity point in I don't like calling it a movement because we aren't moved by any specific doctrine or anything, you know. But we as atheists have finally hit a point where assholes claim to speak for us. That's, that's just what I think of whenever I think of the Amazing Atheist. I mean, whether it comes down to his anti-female blunder, that was a huge, drop off in his subscription count, I assume. I could be wrong. He could probably tell me I'm wrong. That he actually got more subscribers after he, suggested some girl should be raped for her opinions. Um, it's pretty bad. Basically, what I see in his video is a lot of the same techniques and tactics from like extremist radical religious people, and I don't see much value to just shitting all over religion in the way he does. I see value in bringing up arguments over what we know is true, the same way Matt Dillahunty does, even if he seems kind of argumentative on his show, but that's for the purposes of editing a radio talk show or TV show. You have to do it the way he does it. It's not valuable to let someone go off on a tangent so you interrupt them and get your point across. You're a personality on a TV show, so I understand that. However, to me, there's a big difference between Matt Dillahunty, which pressures how do you know what is true. Prominent atheists like him always, how do you know what is true? Let's stick to that. Does Matt Dillahunty go on there and say that it's okay to go around and draw pictures of Jesus sucking his own cock on Bibles? I mean, I know you don't actually do that, and you were doing it to do some sort of like offensive comedy thing, which I don't care if it's offensive. I'm not saying it's offensive to me. I'm just saying how it's perceived too by others. But to me, that's kind of, it's like a cheap laugh. It's like in the comedy terms, it's a cheap laugh, you know. So I don't know. On the intellectual spectrum of things, I think that people like the Amazing Atheist, the people that just go on seemingly offensive rants on atheism, are our equivalent of the lowest common denominator. They're the Pat Robertsons of 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 our new revelation, I guess. So our new revolution. I mean, revelation is a terrible, terrible word to use. I mean, I'm not saying to really be douchey to you, the Amazing Atheist. I'm saying it because maybe you should have a little introspect about how you come across to believers. Me personally, I think that religion is, against our future as a human race. I think it's bad for our future as a human race. I think it'll keep holding us back. So I prefer to build bridges than what you seem to prefer to do, which is build walls. You think building walls or throwing hand grenades of insults at people will get your point across. I do not agree. You may have a point that just being totally, offensive like this to some people has some sort of leeway, but I think it only has leeway to people that were already going to stop believing regardless of what argument they heard. If you really wanted, I don't even know if you really want this, but if you really wanted people to stop believing, which is the true fix to the problem of Christians treating you badly or any sort of, argument you may have for that, if you really want to fix the problem, which is belief without evidence, then you wouldn't formulate your videos and arguments this way. You really wouldn't. Simple as that. Go about what is true and how do you know what is true. If you want examples as to people that formulate their arguments a lot more intellectually, let's go to Bertrand Russell, Christopher Hitchens, definitely not Richard Dawkins. I mean, a lot of his book is appeal to ridicule. It's totally fallacious. I mean, I've recently had discussions about the Joseph Smith conman thing that Richard Dawkins always brings up. They literally say that Joseph Smith was a convicted conman, as if that refutes his religion being valid. Well, I obviously don't believe his religion to be valid. That argument is bad because he was convicted under a completely unjust law, which convicted people as jugglers when they were accused of it. So, I mean, that law was thrown out very quickly, short after, even before the term con man was invented. So if you do your history and read about it, it's a bad argument. It's just a stupid argument. I mean, implying that he's a con man means that you have knowledge about if he knew what he was doing wouldn't work. You're assuming that he wasn't crazy or irrational. If he was crazy or irrational, he wasn't a bad guy. He was just fucking weird and crazy and irrational. But he wasn't a bad guy. That's the thing. Like, there are people that think they can talk to the dead, and they think they're actually helping people, and they think that they should charge for that service. So who are you to say that they're bad people or anything like that, or they're a con man? It's you then cross the boundary over identifying that they can't possibly know if they're talking to the dead, which is a realm of epistemology that you can have a say in, and then saying that you know what they think, which amounts to little more than saying people know that you're a sinner. When somebody says, "Oh, we're all sinners," when someone asserts that, that's a terrible argument to convert to Christianity, right? Well, it's the same way that this is all seen the other way around. Don't talk about things you can't know. So if you're gonna sit there and just throw offensive, I mean, I kind of went off on a tangent. if you just want to sit there and throw out insults to people and think that's going to make a difference in the world, I guess more power to you if it makes you happy. But to me, this is a waste of time. It's a complete waste of time and energy, where you could be diverting it a lot more healthily and positively. I think this is just pure negative energy spewing. It's not really hate speech, but it's along the same vein of the mindset of hate speech. It's pretty close from how it comes across, anyways, is how it looks like. I'm not saying I know your mind, but it's how it comes across, I think, to people that don't exactly sign on to your mentality. I guess I should end this video. It's pretty long. Cheers. Have a good day.